Herc 916. Positivity, motivation, never settle for average. Go to bigherc916.com and pick up a copy of my autobiography, Against All Odds, or pick you up an original piece of art, or pick up a bar of soap and wash your ass, man. Don't walk around here stinking. Also, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, represent the channel, share the channel, spread the word. You know, I'm always lacing you guys up over here talking about positivity and motivation. And one of the things I've talked about before, but I could talk about it more often, is how prison tries to steal your identity and demoralize you. Which is relevant because what they are trying to do on the streets is steal your identity and demoralize you. And what I mean by steal your identity is create a lot of confusion on who you are as a person, to have you second guessing yourself, have you redefining yourself, having you put yourself in a box, trying to control how you think, what you think about, and just what you define yourself as, to where white is black, black is white, wrong is right, right is wrong. It's a dirty game they playing, man. But I peeped it out because it's the same game they play in prison. And the thing about prison that makes the game a little different, so it's easier for them to try to convince you of your identity being taken from you, is you committed a crime, a commercial crime. But a crime nonetheless, you committed a crime. So you're in there, in a sense, being punished for something you did against a society, a transgression. In my case, it was a bank robbery. So I did have that sense of wrongdoing, which put me in a state of, okay, I have to pay for what I done, quote unquote. But I started reading the law, elevated my consciousness, realized that yes, I did commit a crime, but I also got duped. I got duped because it wasn't the actual crime that got me in jail. It was my thinking prior to committing a crime, which led to me going to jail. And I'm going to tie all this in, but the way I saw myself allowed thoughts to creep into my mind and to poison my spirit, which in turn enabled me, as the person I was at that time, to be involved with situations that lacked a consciousness. And it's a process, because you buy into certain things and then those things lead to other things, and it just compounds. And the more I really sat back and reflected on how I got to prison, I realized I had been duped, I had been bamboozled, I had been hoodwinked. And they're doing it now on the streets with the politics, with the psychology of Americans, people around the world. They're convincing people that a society where an handout and a sacrifice for the greater good is a righteous cause, and that you should turn a blind eye and just accept lawlessness, crime, socialistic behavior, embrace communism, hate on capitalism, point the finger at anybody who's successful and make them the reason for your lack of. And it's all a bunch of bullshit. The people that they want to have you hold accountable aren't the ones who are running the narrative. They're people who have just busted their ass, worked for 20, 30 years, established a business, and now they're enjoying the rewards of their wealth. It's not it's not the same as the people who are these globalists at these private meetings who are deciding what's best for society because they know it all. As quoted by them, they know what's best for everybody else, and they literally look at people outside of them as shit, but they pretend to act like they care. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter the collateral damage if the agenda is accomplished. And it was no different in prison. It don't matter if a couple guys got stuck or this person died, as long as they were able to maintain control over the prison. And it's an illusion that they even have control in prison, because it's only a handful of guards and you got thousands of inmates, but because the inmates are divided and can't see that they outnumber the people that are oppressing them, they allow this oppression to continue. Because there are a lot of people who believe in the prison concept. There are a lot of people who haven't changed their way of how they look at life. And some are just pieces of shit. Just like in society, you got pieces of shit. And anytime there is any push for change or real rehabilitation, that shit gets pushed aside, because that's not really what prison is for. Just like society and the people who so-called are elected officials aren't really here to help you. They're here to keep you exactly where you're at and not allow you to go any further than that. Only one who wants you to go further is gonna be yourself, or people who see the big picture, because those people in control, they don't give a damn. They placate to whatever they need as far as to make you believe that they care, but they do not care, man. Just like in prison, they don't care. They play with the food in prison. They play with the food on the street. Chemicals, all type of different additives that cause all type of psychological issues. I mean, think about this, man. In prison, they got the pill line. On the street, they got a 501c that's giving out free crack pipes. There's no incentive. You think there's an incentive in prison to clean it up? If anything, they're trying to figure out how to leverage the bed space so they can make more money off the same bed, which is what they do in a halfway house. 4 or 5 people paying on the same bed, home confinement. That's the future of prison, home confinement. They got an ankle monitor or they got some type of tracking device, and you run around on the streets and you're still locked up under home confinement, but they got 5 people paying for the same home confinement. Therefore, they're making more money than you were locked up, and they don't have to pay the guards to watch you. The homelessness, hey man, those people are what they consider useless feeders. They don't care about them. If they die from a drug overdose, there's no sweat off their back. They got plenty of more. And they need people to be homeless in order to continue the businesses they have. Because where else will they go make those six-figure corporate checks? Where else are they going to get that type of pay for looking over people who are pooping and peeing on themselves and washing their ass with fire hydrants? The game is dirty, man. But one thing you have to realize, or maybe you don't have to realize, it's your choice, is that you have control over it. And nobody's going to save you but you. They try to steal my identity multiple times, saying, "Oh, Big Herc, you're a convict, you're an inmate." And I said, "No, I'm not." And I almost got sent to the hole one time because they kept calling me a convict and I didn't answer. And when they ran up to actually stop me, they were pissed and they were like, "Didn't you hear us calling you? Inmate, inmate, convict, inmate." I said, "Yeah, I heard you call somebody convict and inmate, but I don't know who that person is." "What are you talking about?" I said, "Man, look, man, you can call me Big Herc. You can call me Mr. Timmons. You can call me Marcus, but I don't answer to convict or inmate. I don't look at myself as a convict or inmate. I don't own none of this shit in here. This stuff that you guys have provided for us to utilize while we're here, I'm just passing through. This is not my home." "What?" "I'm just passing through." They used to hate when I said that because they wanted me to feel like that was my home. It was never my home. Prison was never my home. So the brainwash didn't work on me. The institutionalized didn't work on me, because when I got out, it was just like I was passing through there on my journey to here. And I utilized a lot of my time writing books. I wrote a lot of books. Wrote this book, Tim Tell Patrick, Basic Training for Quiet War, State and Federal Courts Exposed. Wrote that in prison. Wrote this book, Introduction to the Truth, a must-have guide for anyone living in America. Legal stuff I was reading. I wrote How Big Herc Got Down in the Porn Game. Yeah, I was in that industry too. I could break that down, but I got the hell out. I wrote Bedroom Gangster. I wrote College, Cannabis, and Cheek Busting. And then I wrote a little workout manual. And then got out and wrote my autobiography. Keep my mind working and being constructive, man. Didn't let him manipulate my time. I did the minimum I had to do in prison to make it out of there, and it's in a sense of work related. I worked on myself, and I continue to work on myself because I know I have room for improvement. That's just life. You're always trying to improve. But right now, they have people working themselves into a frenzy. A lot of people are stressed the hell out. They don't know how to deal with a lot of the situations. And so people are frustrated. All the while, they're ushering in all these other control mechanisms. Whether it's, going after the young people in the schools, indoctrination in the colleges. This shit has been going on for a long time, man. This is a 100-year plan. And if you didn't wake up during the pandemic, then I don't know if you're ever going to wake up. But in prison, I woke the hell up, and I was like, the day I got arrested, I'm like, man, it's almost like I had an epiphany. I played myself. And then when I got in there and started talking with some people that really knew about spiritual law and Yahweh and sharing the relation to the courts and the Bible and God and just reading the laws, I'm like, man, why couldn't I have read this shit before I came in here? And I wouldn't have been thinking on no bank robbery time. Just like the people out here on the street running around doing smash and grabs, or, you know, people allowing themselves to get played by their bosses at work or getting manipulated. You know, once you realize your value, you know that these people are full of shit. That's why I saw when they started trying to make everybody wear this over their face and do this and do that. It's about control, because they don't care about you. They don't care. It's about control, man. It's about control. It's no different than they see you, you know, in prison. Cut your hair, pull your pants up, do this, do that. It's control. How obedient can we make you like some dogs where you just do whatever? Because if you start reading and doing your own homework, you realize a lot of the shit that they're pushing is bullshit. But they act like you're not capable. It's like almost like they're clowning us when they have certain people address us publicly like we're some idiots. I don't know, man. You can continue to be asleep, but if you hear this and you're already woke and you already know what's up, I already know you're on the right path. I already know you either got your Bible, or you got your Quran, or you got a spiritual reference that you know that you're not going for the bullshit. And you're not going to allow them to steal your identity or demoralize you. I just want to share that with you guys, because that's the biggest thing, man. You know, is once you lose your identity, you're done. You have to figure out what your purpose is, what your calling is, and what you want out of life. You figure those things out, your life's going to change, man. Every day you'll be able to wake up with a smile on your face and live in bliss. Even in my darkest, I had hope. I didn't have no car. I didn't have access to no kitchen. I didn't have no access to family. But I still had a hope because I kept my identity. That identity was an identity I created, and I got rid of the identity that they had created, because the identity that they created that led me to prison, that was the old me. The new me was the one I found when I got locked up, that was the truth. The one that knew that a lot of what the old me had bought into was some bullshit. I bought into a lot of bullshit. A lot of violent, a lot of ignorant bullshit. A lot of shit you just do. You don't even really think about the consequences of your actions. Well, there's consequences to your actions even in the free world. And people just run around like, hey, it's no big deal. You can wake up or you can stay asleep, man. The choice is yours. But if you allow these people to demoralize you, to make you think like, why care? That's when they won. They come right in, usher in whatever they want to do, punk you, and it's a wrap. In prison, they do it a lot. Strip down to your boxers, look in your booty hole, lift your feet up, open your mouth. How deep do you want to look in my booty hole? How deep you want to look in my mouth? Lift up the bottom of my feet. Bend over, squat, cough. They literally, I'm surprised they haven't started making people, when they say they are sick, you know, on the street, you know, squat and cough, look in your booty hole, see if you got COVID in your booty hole. That's what's next. They just do make up stuff, man. It's sad, but people got to take a stance and start researching to find the truth. And whenever you can, instead of just having something in a digital form, get it in a hard copy so that you can reference it. You can reference the hard copy of whatever it is you're trying to look up, because you know, with a click of a mouse, man, these people are deleting a lot of shit from history, man. A lot of shit. But I just want to share that with you. Like I said, make sure you guys go to the website, pick you up an original art piece. If you want something commissioned, hit me up. I do commission art pieces also. And just getting down, man. Just getting back to my childhood passion of doing art, painting, still doing the meet and greets, fixing up my cars, and go to Muscle Up Car Lifestyle for my other YouTube channel with number of cars on it. And, you know, I'm getting down with the Fresh Out. We're doing some really dope military interviews. Shout out to all the military veterans out there, all the men and women who have served, people who believe in our country. Because if you don't believe and you want to see something bad happen here, you're not ready for the next phase of what they consider bad. Go and look up the history on China and what Mao did to the Chinese and what Stalin did to the Russians and how many people they killed, wiped out. Their own people. Their own people, man. They didn't care. These people care about a couple of people dying here and there to push an agenda? That was my biggest fear in prison. Like, they don't care. They wipe half the prison population. Like, who cares? People already locked up anyways. Find out who you are inside. And if you never believed in anything, now's the time to find something to believe in outside yourself. Find God, find the truth. Because what's going on right now, it's a spiritual war and some satanic shit, man. And like I said, my lowest point, I never believed in Satan. Never embraced the devil. Whatever you want to call him, Baal, Satan, no, whatever other names you think he goes by or it goes by. But this is the time to bring your faith together and find self, man. And if you have to get on your knees and pray and tap into that higher calling, we need it. Big Kirk 916.
Officially, I only got one real spanking my entire life. My mom did the best a 14-year-old could do, raising me with love and instilling values that will last a lifetime. I was a straight-A student and lived to make her happy. So how did I go astray? A horrible stepdad that stole my self-worth and invoked fear turned me into a person that I struggled to overcome. From skateboarding to selling drugs, gangbanging in juvenile hall, I got caught the same way many young promising men get caught up. I struggled to find my identity, getting mixed up in shootouts, crime, and the adult entertainment industry. This roller coaster continued as I juggled college, hustling, and Hollywood, eventually catching a federal bank robbery case. I found redemption in prison while serving a 120-month federal sentence and came out a man on a mission. I became a social media influencer with over 500 million views on YouTube and a life coach mentoring people all over the world. This is my journey against all odds.
Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.
Are you tired of smelling funky? Have you washed your ass? Go to BigKirk916.com and get to Nutsack Run.